I want to transfer into 2024 because we don't have a ton of time left. I want to get into your overall just quick insights for 2024 and then why you're bearish on Austin in 2024.
Yeah. So nationally, national market, our prediction for 2024 is plus 4% to plus 7%. So median case of plus 5.5, a bear case of plus 4, and a bull case of plus 7. The bull case of plus 7 is based on, at least a 1% decline in the federal FOMC rate, the federal funds rate set by the federal the Federal Board of Directors. And the bearish case is based on basically affordability still being a massive headwind in this market, while cracks visible in supply where people finally need to sell their home even if they have a super low rate because of life events like divorces and deaths and other events where they just need to sell their home because they have to sell their home, right? It's still the most bullish among, even our bearish case is the most bullish among housing economists. Like most of the predictions we have seen are from minus 3% to plus 2.9%. Although like a day after we published a report, Zillow upped their predictions to plus 3.5%. Mean case. So
I saw that.
They're getting close, but the bearish scenario among the broader consensus in the market is still minus 3 to plus like 3.5 now. In terms of the Austin, go ahead.
No, I was going to ask, what do you need to see change in order to adjust your opinion?
So we will primarily be track. Our bullish case is more likely to become a reality if the Fed starts dropping rate in the February or the March meeting before the summer and the spring housing boom starts. If they drop rates before, there will be, we know that for every 1% drop in rates, about 5 million new home buyers are eligible to buy their home right now, right? And the total supply of homes in the country right now is barely around a million. It's between 1.1 to 1.25 million units, depending on which month you're looking at. So very few homes still available in the market. Home sellers are still not budging. New construction is there, but it's not as big as most people think, and it's concentrated in markets like Texas and Georgia and Florida and Utah and Idaho, not really in the coastal markets, right? And versus demand is still going to be there. Like people are still aging into the millennial population. They can still afford homes. I mean, not everyone can. The super majority of the country can't. But think about it. In 2024, only about 4.5 million homes will be bought, versus there are 150 million addresses in the country, right? So only 3% of homes will be transacted. So it's the remaining 97%. And no, a lot of people are frustrated with affordability, and it's real. But just because they're frustrated with affordability doesn't mean other people can't afford to buy homes, right?
Well, and I didn't want to take you off the path of Austin. So now take all of that information and now apply it to Austin and where are we at?
Yeah, so if you look at Austin right now, the year-on-the-year growth, if we compare it to the top 100 metros, it's the second worst in the country. Housing demand is still super low. In 2022 and 2023, the demand is still much lower than the demand for the 10 previous years. Austin days on market are still high. Like average days on market in the Austin, Round Rock, Georgetown metro area are about 70, versus the rest of the country is about 38. So it still takes longer to sell homes in Austin. Now, on the supply side, right now, Austin has about 6 months of supply of inventory, right? Versus the national numbers about 4 months. And, in terms of listings data, Austin has the 11th highest listings per capita in the country. So there's still a lot of supply available and not enough demand. Now, new supply is still being built. This year, permits for new construction were lower than last year. They were lower by about 25% than last year, which was lower than about 30% from the year before. But it's still a lot, right? Because a lot of home builders flock to Austin. And housing is if you look at housing as a commodity, there's no cartel in supply like OPEC has for oil prices. There's no cartel among home builders saying, hey guys, relax, let's all not build together and oversupply the market, right? So overall, we still see a lot of supply in Austin. Homes are taking about 70 days to sell, and demand is still not like fully there yet. So our bear case for Austin this year is -2, but bull case is +2. So our broad prediction for the Austin 2024 housing market is -2 to +2%. What will really influence sales is, I think, while new construction is being built, existing homeowners are also selling their homes because their tax assessments are increasing so much, right? That's not the same case in California, for example, where your tax assessments can never go more than 2% a year. Austin tax assessments, some of the tax assessments we are seeing are increasing by 30, 40, 50%, right? That's a lot of taxes for someone who bought their home many, many years ago. So those people will also create more supply in the market. So, depending on how tax assessments impact Austin, we will really see, how much supply there is in the market compared to demand, and that will determine the final outcome.
Yeah, it's interesting because a lot of things you talk about are things that we've discussed. So we'll start with the new construction. So what we're seeing just in the market, the home builder sentiment was under 40% up until this month now, 44%. So these builders have had to really incentivize buyers to buy their product at the prices that they want. The challenge for us as agents, as realtors, is a lot of that supply sells off market. So we can't accurately tell where the pricing is on that. Is it helping the market? Is it not helping the market? So we can't see. I think that we're going to see some of these home builders, and what I'm talking to, pull back a little bit on construction. Obviously, you see the numbers come down slightly. My prediction for last year, for 2023, was that we would end not negative, not positive, but kind of flat. If you look at Travis County, and I always talk about Austin, and this is where I think for me, when I hear the big YouTubers talk about Austin and where they miss the mark, is there's 5 counties in Austin. Okay. Travis County is the main one, which is Austin. They ended up the year plus 2%. Williamson County, which was where a lot of the new construction is going, they ended down. Hayes County, where a lot of the construction is, down. Caldwell was the only one that was positive because they didn't have as much construction. They do have construction. And then what's the other one? Bastrop. Bastrop ended up. Why did Bastrop end up? Well, the prices in Bastrop are really low and people are moving there because of Tesla. So my question to you is given that information, that what we see on the ground in Austin, Ian and I work with a lot of buyers, sellers. My predictions for 2024 are basically around the same, that we're not going to see a huge decrease and we're not going to see a huge increase. Whereas 2 years before that, Ian and I were like, prices are going to be crazy, right? They're crazy. And then we hit July 22 or May 22 and everything just fell off the planet.
Yeah. Our predictions primarily cover Williamson County and Travis County. So the Austin, Round Rock, Georgetown MSA, like that's how how the census defines the MSA. If you look at Austin before, like the story before 2022, right? Number one domestic migration in the country, like number one net positive domestic migration in the country, number one wage growth in the country, number one overall population growth in the country. Everything was working well. And yes, Austin was undersupplied then, and that's why home prices were growing like crazy. But then these home builders just flocked, and they flocked in like unseen numbers. And like at one point we were tracking permits in I think it was 2022 when we were tracking permits. It was something like 130,000 permits were issued in the county, versus just that year only about 40,000 homes were sold or something. So just based on permits data, it was clear like there was 4 years of supply construction coming online compared to the best year that Austin ever had, right? So since then we became bearish overall, saying, hey, like this, like builders need to just stop being overzealous on this market. They need to, there is supply missing, but it's not to the degree that they're supplying for. On top of it, homeowners are being hit with tax assessments, and they will now start selling their homes because some homeowners just can't afford these insanely high increases in tax assessments.
Thanks for watching this short of the Real Amigos podcast. For more live streams, hit here. For more clips, hit here. We'll catch you on the next one.